Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Pageant Sit Down. We see a lot of viewers from Australia, and I'm really curious to why. But good morning, Australia, and good evening to all of you who are watching elsewhere in the world. I am joined, of course, with my amazing co-host, Elizabeth.
Hi, Regine. How are you?
I'm good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's been a while since we've been here, but we're starting the new year with a fun guest, so it's going to be fun.
I know it's crazy to think that it is the first episode of 2024, but I honestly wasn't even sure if we were going to have an episode in January with how busy I've been with work.
Yeah.
But when our guest reached out, I'm like, no, we need to have her on, and it's been a while since she reached out, so I'm really glad that we got her on here today.
Yes, it's great that we finally figured out our schedules. We're aligned. Life's been hectic with your coaching, and I've been doing stuff for Canadian National Miss. So anyway, we're back in pageant land, and I'm excited to chat today.
Me too. Are you ready to bring on our guest?
I am. Okay.
I think our viewers are
very excited.
Yeah.
Okay. I will. Everyone, please welcome Dakota Cunningham, your Miss Teen Pemulwuy Galaxy. Hi, Dakota.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Thank you. I'm just tired, bro. It's like so hot today too. So I'm like tired.
She's rubbing it in. Like, we're in Canada, so it's winter.
Yeah, it switches. How hot is it over there right now?
Oh, it's been like this week is like the hottest week like we've had like all year. Literally, it's like 40. I don't know how you guys do your like weather there, but it's like 45 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's like really hot.
That's good.
It has been raining every day, but now it's like hot.
Girl, it's -11 here in Canada, or in Toronto, at least.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's very cold.
I'll take that sunshine any day.
Yes.
So Dakota, I know you reached out to us through social media. So we're getting to know you tonight, but I'm sure some of our viewers are also interested in getting to know you. If you don't mind, can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, so my name is Dakota Cunningham, and I'm 17 years old, and I'm currently Miss Teen Pemulwuy Galaxy 2024, and I'm thrilled to be competing for the title of Miss Teen Galaxy Australia this year. So it's been my first pageant like in the teen division. It's been a while. So beyond the pageant world, I am the founder of Be the Difference, See the Difference, which is my organization which is dedicated to let's say like self-development, empowerment, and fostering positive change. So like through this initiative, I aim to like provide women with the opportunity to like amplify their voices and speak about like their journey of like self-development. And it's really good because a lot of people don't realize that we all have different things that we're going through, and we all think like, oh, I'm just the only person that's going through it, no one's going to understand. But everyone has so many different stories to tell, so I'm like really happy that like I was able to offer that. And I also have a commitment to giving back. So this also links to like my career aspirations. So it's one of my biggest dreams to work for the United Nations. And basically what I do a lot now is I'm a model UN student. So I usually like act out like in a simulation of what they do, which is talking about like diplomacy. And I also talk about like global issues. So yeah, that's like a big thing also about me. And before this live stream even started, Regina was talking about how I have Thai heritage. So I'm mixed with Thai, Italian, and Australian. And I feel like that's played a big role in my life, especially like since I grew up in a multicultural country. Because sometimes like when you're mixed, it's very hard to fit in because you don't know where to go. Like, because like I don't know if I fit in with the Asians or I fit with the Italians or the Australians. But I feel like it really brought me to like a positive mindset because so many people like bring different things to the table, and our cultures offer like amazing things, and it's crazy like how many differences we have, and it makes like the world what it is. So I'm very proud that I'm mixed. So that's something about me.
I love that. I love that about you. And not only do we love you, but love that about you. Sorry. Our viewers are loving you right now. So I'm just going to read a bunch of them to you so that you are also aware of who's in the chats. So we have Jason in the chat who has said, go Dakota, 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So hello, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Sending you some love. Lana is also in the chat saying, Dakota, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Aiden says, go May.
Oh, thanks, Aiden.
Karam says, Dakota winning this. Hashtag we love Dakota. And Lana's back here saying, yes, Dakota, the mix part is so real. And then the praise hands emoji. And then we also... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
She's like my sister, basically. Like her and I both mix. So yeah, it's good.
Aww.
Love that. And then who else is in the chat? Vanessa is in here. Vanessa does have a question. So I don't know if you want to start with the Q&A.
Yeah, let's start. Yeah, let's go for it.
Awesome. So Vanessa says, I didn't have time to comment my question in the post, but who is someone you look up to and who is your favorite pageant queen?
Okay. Well, people that I look up to, it's more than one person. It's my parents, and I know that can be like a bit of a cliche answer, but it really is, because growing up, like my parents divorced at a very young age, like when I was young, and I feel like it really taught me a lot about them, because they were both going through their own struggles. But as like they grew apart, they also grew to loving themselves and understanding themselves more, and they became better people. Like they become better versions of themselves, and they taught me that like, no matter what like situations like come like at you and how hard it is, like they can get through it. And I feel like my parents are like in the best like place they've ever been in their lives. They're happy, they're like always working hard, they're healthy, and that's something that's always meant a lot to me. So my parents have always been someone that's looked up, like I've always looked up to, because they're just like strong individuals, and they've just like really, really taught me a lot. Like they feel like sometimes they've let me down, or they failed, or they're just not good people, but they don't really understand like how much they've changed my life, and how much like all those things that they have gone through have made me believe that I can defeat anything and I can do anything I want. So they're people that have inspired me.
Love that.
That's great.
And so the next part was, who is your favorite pageant queen?
My favorite, okay, it's like it changes, but currently it's Antonia Porceld, who's Miss Universe Thailand 2023, and she was first runner-up. And I love her because she, you know what, she was, a lot of people beat her down that she came back to try like win another major title, because she was Miss Supranational, and she went to go win Miss Universe, and she really did that. A lot of people like really doubted her and spoke badly about her and told her like it's not fair, she can't do it. And like another thing is, a lot of people beat down the half Thais in Thailand because they think that they're not representing Thai people enough, because you know they're also mixed, so they're representing something else. So people also beat her down a lot about that. But Antonia like really like pushed through. She went out there and she showed the universe that she can do anything, and that no matter what, like if she really wants something, she'll go for it. And she, even though she failed to win the title, she accepted it, and she knew that there was something else out there waiting for her. Like the crown for Miss Universe wasn't meant for her, but something else is meant for her. So that's something that's really stuck with me that she said.
110%.
That's so cool. Kind of speaking of what was meant for you, I was so curious to hear what about Galaxy drew you to the system? Why did you select this as your competition to kind of, I don't know if you've competed before or if you're like haven't competed in a while, but what was it about Galaxy that kind of brought you into the pageant world?
So I remember like seeing TikToks like for the first time, and then everyone said like you need to like think about what every competition has something that they represent and they stand for. And something that's really important in my life is like personal development, which is exactly what Galaxy stands for, which like they're saying is be the best version of you. And I feel like a lot of people in my life, and like me especially, have gone through that journey of becoming a better version of myself. And that was like, their slogan really stood out to me, because that's exactly what I believe in. That's my morals, that's my values, that's my beliefs. That's what I want to show people. I want to show people that I'm not afraid anymore to use my voice. Like I used to be very scared to speak. I used to be very like terrified. I thought people would judge me and all that. But I was like to Dakota, like, you know what? You need to push yourself out there. You need to go for it, because there's so many things that are out there waiting for you, but you're just too scared. So you can't let that like hold you back. So Galaxy really stood out to me because it gave me the opportunity to show myself, like to show not only myself, but everyone else my growth as a person.
Is this your first pageant? Or
yeah, first pageant as a teen, but when I was little I used to do like little things, but it wasn't as huge as Galaxy is.
Gotcha.
Love that. So how were you introduced to Galaxy? Because I know there's a lot of pageant systems out there. How did it come into your life?
So I was introduced to Galaxy. I think I saw like one of my friends did it, and she didn't win, but then I started seeing like their profiles, and I was seeing it constantly, and I saw like the amazing director like Shakai, which is like the only Australian that's actually won a international title, which is crazy. And she seemed like such a sweet human being, and I've seen all her posts that she does on her like personal profile and that she also does on Galaxy, and there are so many amazing things that she has to offer to all these young women, and like all these young women are able to become better, to have like a girlhood, like a system where they can all like be there for each other, to learn about each other. And I feel like Galaxy just gives women opportunities to express themselves and to become better. And I feel like that's just an amazing thing. And I was like, you know what, like this is what I need. This is something that I've needed for a long time, and I'm afraid, but Shakai is like over here and she's ready to give this opportunity to me. I'm not missing out on this, so I had to sign up.
Love that.
That's a great attitude. Kind of tied with that, we have a lot of questions on social media, so I'll get to some of them if they kind of work with what we're talking about. But I think this is pertaining to competing at nationals. The question is, what are you most excited for?
What I'm most excited for is like meeting all these girls. I feel like they all have something of their own to bring to the table, and I'm like just so excited to see like all the different things that all these women can have, and all these amazing like talents and skills. And I feel like I can learn a lot from them, but they can also learn a lot from me. So I feel like it also really helps with the personal development aspect of the competition. So that's something that I'm really excited about.
Absolutely.
When is the national competition?
It's in May, so it starts it's like pageant week is the 1st to the 4th, so 4th is the final competition.
Nice.
That's so soon. It's not soon, but it's going to come really quickly.
Yeah, it feels.
And if I remember correctly, that Australia always does it in such like a gorgeous location. Like it always looks so glam there, so that's gonna be so much fun, I'm sure. What other things can I ask you? We have so many questions here. Here's another one. What do you feel separates you from the rest? So what makes you a bit different than maybe potentially your competitors?
So something that I think makes me different is that I'm more relatable. Like I want to be a very relatable person. I want to be someone that's open, that's someone that you can look at like she's just like me. She's made mistakes. She's not amazing. She's not perfect. She's not always going to be like the best, but she's learning and she's going to keep fighting and all that. And I feel like I also make like a lot of dedication, and like I feel like a lot of girls think that pageants are just all about like, the glam and all that. But I feel like it's so much more. Like it gives women opportunity to speak up about what they believe in and what they want to see, like to make change. And because like people don't they underestimate them, like women. They don't realize how smart we are and all these ideas that we have to like put out there. And I feel like with me, with my movement especially, I started that up because I was so afraid to start pageants, because I was afraid that my past mistakes and my history, like with problems like family or like things that I've done wrong in my life, would always take control of me. Like people would only acknowledge that. They wouldn't acknowledge like my success. They wouldn't acknowledge the things that I'm actually good at. So that's why I started that movement. And I feel like it's just given me that opportunity to reach out to all these women, to tell their stories, to also for them to hear my story. And I feel like it's so good because I've been reaching a huge audience all around the world, and everyone like understands like that we all have our own struggles, and we also learn from my videos because I get them to tell their stories and how they deal with it. I feel like a lot of people can learn from each other. So I feel like that's what makes me different, is I give people opportunities to learn from each other, but then to also understand that we're not perfect.
That's
great.
I love that for you. And a lot of people are really enjoying this interview so far. Getting a lot of hearts being sent. Karam says, Dakota, so inspirational. Very genuine choice of words. Dakota has my vote and sends 5 stars. Vanessa is also here saying, so well spoken. So to all of those who are watching, as you can tell, we are reading your comments and your shout outs live. So if you have any questions or comments for Dakota, feel free to leave them in the live chats and we will read them to her.
For sure. Well, we're kind of on the topic of your platform and your initiative. I'm curious, if you were to take home the title at nationals, which we're crossing our fingers, rooting for you, what would you want to do with your initiative to propel it to a national level, or how would you present it to the judges per se in the interview room at internationals?
So I feel like my initiative, it's only growing and it's getting bigger and bigger, because at first I just would make like people just answer questions, but now I actually get them to like record themselves to express it more and explain it, use images and videos from their life and all that. And I would like love to, if I win that title, I get an even bigger platform, and that platform is like huge. I don't only represent like myself, but I represent like Australia, and I'll represent them internationally. And I want to show to like the international judges that I've like been able to give not only Australian women but the whole world opportunities to speak. And I feel like I've reached out to so many people. I've reached out to Canadians, Thai people, Americans, the English, and they all have their own story to tell. And I feel like I'm all about is just like recognizing everyone's voices, because a lot of people are afraid to use their voice, but I've given them that opportunity to use their voice and to tell their story. And I feel like I'm like very grateful, and I'm very proud of myself now, because I've made my younger self very, very proud, because I was so afraid to speak. And I was so afraid that like I was gonna fail at this, because it's been like a lifelong dream. I've been like watching pageants since I was like 10 years old. So seeing that I'm finally out here, but I'm also doing good deeds and giving people like opportunities, which is like something that makes me so happy, because I was unable to get an opportunity myself. I feel like I'm really making a difference in not only my life, but other people's life.
Love that. So what is it about pageantry? So like you said, you've been watching it since you were 10. What is it about pageants that gets you like excited?
Well, I feel like with pageants, it shows like women are more than just their beauty. They also have brains, and they have so much to offer to the table. I feel like so many people put us like down all the time, and they think that, you know, all we are is just looks. We're just there just to like, you know, just, I don't know, we're just there. Like that's what people think we are. We have nothing. And I feel like pageants like give so many women the opportunity to make a difference, to be a difference, to change the world and use their voices to help other people. I feel like a lot of pageant queens have helped people with like diseases, with wars, with so many things. And it's really good because it gives people like a global platform to really help people and to reach out to wider communities, and you're able to spread a message. So that's something that's really like important to me.
That's great. And we know we are also former Galaxy girls way back when, it feels like now, of Canada. But we know that appearances are kind of a big thing in this Galaxy space. What kind of things are you planning to do for community service work, or how are you going to get out in the community with your current title?
So currently I work with Calvin Biag, who's a part of an Australian party for the government. So he's given me so many opportunities to, you know, reach out to other people, to volunteer and help my community and give back, which is something that's really close to my heart. So we have so many plans, future plans, but I can't talk about it yet because, you know, I'm surprised.
Of course.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of me and Calvin are really, really like pushing ourselves out there to you know, give back and to show that we're very proud to be Australian, and that no matter what like you're going through, we're gonna help, we're gonna be there, because I feel like we also help people that are not as privileged as myself. So I feel like it's really good that I'm able to, you know, recognize that there's people that are going through stuff, and I have that amazing opportunity to go out there and help them and make someone's day.
That's great. We can definitely go into more social media questions because we have plenty. We have another question. What pressures do young women face in today's society? I guess that's kind of more of a general.
You really went in there.
That is a good question.
I think a lot of there's a lot of things that women go through, but I think a lot of is that we don't believe in ourselves enough. We underestimate ourselves, and we think we're not capable to do certain things. I feel like we're constantly like judging each other based on our outer appearance, but we're not like taking the opportunity to get to know each other on the inside and what we have to offer to the table. And I feel like, yeah, we're struggling to believe in ourselves, and we don't, you know, we don't realize how amazing we are and how many talents and skills we have, because we're so focused on our flaws and what we don't have. And I feel like that's a part of like our mindset, because our mindset is a magnet. So if we think negatively and think like, you know what, Dakota, you're gonna fail, you're not gonna win, you're just not good at it, or you're not good enough, I'm gonna go down the road of like not gonna be successful. I'm gonna go down the road of sadness and just negativity. But if I think, you know what, Dakota, you're gonna put yourself out there, you're gonna do good, you're gonna achieve this, you're gonna achieve that, I'm gonna have a road where I'm confident and happy, and I know what I want, and I know what I'm going to achieve, and I know what my next step is. So I feel like it's all about having a good mindset and, you know, just believing in yourself that you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah, me and Regine talk about mindset all the time on this show. I strongly think it's half the battle, literally. If you go in with the right attitude and the right amount of confidence, not cockiness, there's a difference, then you're setting yourself up for a great success. What is kind of your mindset game plan going into nationals? Like, what are some of the things you're doing to like mentally prepare for the competition?
So what I'm doing to mentally prepare is that I'm accepting that I'm not going to be amazing, but I have my own things that are amazing about me, and that I'm going to embrace that. Like, I'm going to turn my weaknesses into my strengths and really put myself out there, because I feel like going to nationals has given me the opportunity to, you know, show who I really am and what I have that makes me different. And I feel like if you're like pretending to be someone else, no one's going to really acknowledge who you really are. They're going to think that you're just someone else that you've put this mask on and just pretending to be. But I feel like I'm just giving me this opportunity to be myself. So my mindset really is Dakota, just be yourself. Just show everyone what you have to offer and how you're different and how you're proud of who you are. And I'm really going to put myself out there by doing that. And it gives me opportunity to, you know, put in a lot of effort, because no matter what, if I lose or win, I'm going to be happy at the end of the day that I put myself out there and I went for it after all these years of being afraid and scared. So that's my mindset with that.
That's great.
That. Yeah. And so I guess going with the preparation conversation, what are you doing to prepare? I mean, Galaxy is a big pageant, not only in itself, but also in Australia. So what are you doing to prepare physically, with your wardrobe, appearances? Give us it all. Give us a tea.
Okay. So I've been watching like a lot of past live streams, so I really have an idea of like what's the best outfit or what's expected in Galaxy. So I really, really think about that. But then I also think about colors or clothing that make me feel confident and express who I am, not who I want to be, but who I really am as a person. Because I feel like there's a lot of colors that are very popular, but they don't like represent me. So I'm looking at colors that really represent, you know, how I feel, like my mindset. So there's so many colors that represent little things, like yellow could be like a happy, or red could be like a dominant color. So that's something that I've looked at. So I've looked at a lot of their past wardrobe outfits. So it's really fun though. It's really fun, like, you know, preparing your wardrobe and all that. But I also like look at what makes me feel confident. Like I'll look in the mirror, I'm like, that's the one, that's the outfit, that's the dress. And I found my dress already, so I'm really happy with that. But I feel like a lot of the time people will tell you like, oh, you don't look good enough, it doesn't suit you, the dress is ugly. But I think it's more about the way you carry yourself in the outfit and you show your personality and your smile. And I'm like, if I feel confident and happy in this dress, the judges will see that. They'll see my smile, they'll feel my aura. So I feel like that's how I prepared for that. So I prepared a lot for my walk too, because my walks would be like off, but like it's all right. But I've been practicing that a lot, so that's been getting better. But it's not amazing. It's not an easy journey to, you know, start going back up this path again and doing that, because a lot of people think all you have to do is just put on outfits and just walk, but it's so much more than that. It's so hard, but I feel like at the end of the day, if you really want it, like you'll get it.
I mean, Australian girls at Galaxy always bring it with their fashion. I mean, Charlotte, my year, she was Ms. Galaxy, I think Australasia, because she was also one of the pandemic queens. She won couture because her outfits were on point all week. And I, high key, I am very jealous that Australia is so close to the Philippines, and a lot of the Australian queens got to work with Filipino designers. Really? I'm like, man, like, if I could, awesome. I totally would take advantage of how close you are to them. Like, I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, it's crazy how far like Australia is. Like you think it's sometimes hard to realize because I have some family in Australia and they speak English and they look Canadian and then they sound, you know, the same, but they're so far away. It's like the travel that I remember the girls from my year and I guess every year since, it's like a 24-hour travel journey to Florida, sometimes more. That is just crazy. So, you know, obviously we're rooting for you and we're wishing you luck with that flight if that happens to you. Because the Australia girls really, I feel like they just go kind of crazy at internationals because they've survived this travel journey. So they're a
They
fun
make the
group.
most out of it.
They absolutely do. They have a great time, and that always shows. Like, we can always count on the Australian team to like have fun at Disney, to bring it out at the pajama party for sure. So yeah, I love it. I'm sure you're gonna have a great time meeting all the girls in Australia. They all seem so awesome.
And what I love is that Australia, correct me if I'm wrong, is the only national pageant that has the delegate crowns.
I think it is. Yeah.
I think
So you're so lucky.
It's pretty too.
Awesome. It is. It's so pretty. Speaking of pretty, we got a lot of comments in the chats. Karam says, Lana, I guess he's now having a conversation in the group chat. Says, Lana, does Dakota inspire you to become a pageant contestant yourself? If I was a girl, I would definitely be inspired by Dakota.
I love that.
I am inspired as well. Lana's response, yes, of course. Dakota is a beautiful and extremely well-spoken. I am always inspired by her.
That's so nice. We have a lot of questions that are kind of pertaining to that. One was, how do you plan to represent your amazing part of Western Sydney at Nationals?
So Western Sydney is a very like multicultural area. Like I think all Australians know that Australia, especially like Sydney, is very, very multicultural. And I feel like as a half Thai and half Italian Australian, I have that opportunity to really represent that multiculturalism at Nationals, and I'm willing to offer them like knowledge about where I live and all that, and how someone like me, which comes with different races, is also Australian at heart and is a proud Australian. And I'm also willing to, you know, show that, because Western Sydney can also be known as a really like bad area kind of, because yeah, it's a bit weird, but I think people underestimate it because of stereotypes, and I feel like it's so much more. There's so much different cultures. The food is amazing. There's so many people, and I feel like I've learnt so many things off other people. Like I've learnt different languages from people. Like my friends, a lot of them speak Arabic, so I can speak some Arabic because of them.
Wow.
So it's really good because I feel like I've learnt so much, because I think I've only had a lot of knowledge about my cultures. But then I started realizing, like, learning about other people's cultures, and I was like, wow, like, they have so much to offer. They have so many things that I didn't even know, like, were a thing at the time. Like, and they have amazing food, and, like, the way they think, like, their morals are. It was just crazy. Like, there's just so many different things, and it's just, that's something that's, like, really important to me. I love, like, cultural differences, and I loved acknowledging that and learning about that. So it's really good that I'm living in this community, because I'm able to learn and appreciate it, and also feel at peace and at home, because there's so many different cultures. So it feels like I'm welcome here. So it's really good.
I love that. Going back to the chats, I think I started something. We started a whole conversation.
Got it.
Vanessa says, this is going back to Lana and Karam. Vanessa says, agreed. She makes me feel like I can do anything. And Jason, hello, welcome back, Jason. Jason says, agreed. She is the person that you can go to for advice.
Wow. You want them on the judging panel at Galaxy
Nationals
for sure. For sure.
I love that. So I guess you have a lot of support, but you also mentioned, and I was going to ask you this after our little questionnaire later, but you mentioned that you're also so you're a student, but you're also preparing for your pageant, and then you're also a Model UN student. So tell us a little bit more about that and how, I guess, your two worlds collide.
Mm-hmm.
So I really admire the works of the United Nations because they really discuss about global issues and all the different countries' opinions. So it's amazing how that they offer the opportunity to young people to really act out what they do and what they represent. So there's so many times that I've worked in like workshops or outside of school, like sometimes there's even competitions for it, where I'm able to represent a country and we can speak on a global issue that is concerning, and we address it and we come to a solution to it on the benefit of not only just one country, but the benefit of all countries. So sometimes we can talk about like the location of like the seas or countries, like their laws and all that, or something even with the passports aspects. So it's really good that I had this opportunity to learn about all these amazing like ways that countries come together and solve these issues, but I also learn about all these global issues that I didn't even know were going on around the world. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that there's so much actually going on, but this gives young people the opportunity to prepare for being the future leaders of our world and to really acknowledge what's actually going on in the world and to also spread a message, because I feel like there's so many things that people don't realize that are happening in different countries or even in your country itself. And it's really good that I have this opportunity to actually recognize it and find solutions that I could possibly apply in the future if I get into the United Nations.
That's
really
exciting.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
That is so cool. It's so, like, when everyone's like, oh, you're so inspiring, it's true, because you're 17 years old. You don't have to care about what's happening in the world and what's happening in our part of the world either, but the fact that you are taking this extra time and extra step to get to know and educate everyone as well is very inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of inspirations, we do have a segment on this show, which is 5 tips from a beauty queen. And I know this is something that, you know, you've been a fan of pageantry for so long. You're in the works of going into your first teen pageant. What would your top 5 pageant tips be for everyone watching us today?
So my main one that I will actually give to anyone that is ready to join a pageant or is already in a pageant and just trying to, you know, compete again, you will only get what you put in. So if you put a lot of effort in, you're going to return a lot back. But if you put a lack of effort, you're not going to get much back. So I feel like that's something that people really need to think about and prepare for that, because sometimes you have to make sacrifices, sometimes you have to learn. So it really is a part of like your personal growth journey. Another thing is basically what relates to my platform, which is Be the Difference, See the Difference, is be the change that you want to see. Don't let other people decide for you or tell you what you should do. It's your journey and you should decide what you want. What do you want to see to achieve? Like for me, for example, I want to see myself achieve, you know, public speaking properly. And I feel like I've achieved so much because I put myself out there. I've signed up for opportunities to, you know, really get out there to audiences and use my voice for good. So that's something that I've applied with being the difference that I want to see. Another is finding a pageant that aligns with your values, beliefs, and morals. And I think that's something really important, because before joining Galaxy, I didn't know that so many pageants had different things they stand for. Like, for example, Miss Earth is all about the environment and all that. But then Miss World is also about like helping global issues. Like, it's different. Like, they all have a different target thing that they're focused on. So that's why I made sure I picked Galaxy, because it was everything that I wanted to learn from, but it's also everything that I wanted to represent. So another is something that I've also said a lot throughout this live stream, is that never forget your mindset is a magnet. So you need to use that magnet as a force for good. You need to use that magnet as an opportunity to attract good into your life. You need to, I feel like a lot of people are always thinking negatively. If they make a mistake, they're like, that's it, that's the end of the world. But they don't realize that they can turn that mistake into a lesson and benefit themselves. But not only do they teach themselves, but they teach other people. Like, from past experiences that I've had issues where I've thought it was the end of the world, but I actually sat down and I thought about it, and I've taken that as a lesson to apply to my future. And I've also taken the advice that I've learned from that to give to other people. And my last tip would probably be turning your weakness into a strength. And I feel like so many times our weaknesses get taken advantage of, and that's something that always holds us back. But if we really, really like think about it and acknowledge it, then we can learn so many things about us. We can learn new skills, new talents that we never knew we even had. And we can just become like unstoppable and powerful if we really think about it. And I feel like people are always afraid to put themselves out there and to try new things because they don't like change. But they don't realize that even a little step can change your world, and it can change who you are and how people see you. But it's up to you when to do it. Yeah.
Sorry, I was loving your TED Talk. That was great. Yeah, she's
motivated.
Those are great tips, great. Dakota. Yeah. And I know that everyone in the chat also agrees because they're sending a lots of love right now. I'll let you read the chats when we're done. There's a lot going on.
I guess we could talk a bit more about nationals, as this is what you're kind of preparing for and working towards right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do they still do the competition where you do like the eco outfit? That is so interesting. Can you tell us a bit more about that? You don't have to tell us what you're doing for it, because I'm sure that's a surprise. Tell us a bit more about that, or if something you're excited about for it, or anything that's slightly unique for nationals.
So I feel like so eco fashion is basically where you make your own outfit. So you can make it out of like recyclable materials, which is something they prefer. But I feel like it's a really good opportunity from Galaxy to give the Australian women opportunities to show their creativity and show what makes them different. And you know, a lot of people in the past have made dresses out of rubbish bags or out of bottles, and I feel like it's really good because we are making we're helping not only our representation of ourselves, but we're helping our environment at the same time. Like we're giving back, and we're helping. I feel like it's good because it also shows what areas of the environmental issues that you have concerns for. Past winner of Miss Australia, she did Coke bottles, and she's always doing the return and earn, which is where you put the coins, like your bottles in, and you get coins back from that for recycling. So that was something that she's always used a lot in her life, and she made a costume out of that, and she actually won that. So for that, you just get bonus points for that, but it's not a area of competition. But I feel like it's a really good fun opportunity for women to see all their creativity and their different outfits, and how we can turn our waste into something actually good.
Right. I love those outfits. Whenever it's Australia Galaxy time, I'm always on Instagram. I'm like, what are they wearing? This is crazy. Because they're like elaborate outfits a lot of the time. So it's pretty cool. I like that they do a lot of small little different things in Australia, and I think that's really fun.
I feel like other countries need to pick up on it too, because there's one, like you said, it gives you an opportunity to show a different side of who you are, but then you're also giving back to what is the word that I'm looking for? You're just doing good in the world.
The planet.
For the planet.
Yeah.
And I also am jealous about your tiaras, because I feel like those are great. But I also feel like because Canada, there's so many divisions, Cindy's gonna run out of crowns.
Right. That's true. We kind of talked about something that was like not scored competition. What is your favorite scored competition, or one that you're most excited for, I guess?
I'm most excited for fun fashion, because I feel like it's just really showing your personality. You can just walk and just show who you are and smile, but also your outfit shows who you are. So I actually cannot wait to go on that stage and show the outfit that I've chosen, that I believe really represents me and really expresses my personality as a person. But then I can also embrace that within my walk and show the judges my aura and how I'm a fun, exciting person to be with. So I feel like that's a really good, it's a really fun one. I feel like that's a underrated opinion that people actually give, because usually people say evening, but fun fashion is, I don't know, it's my favorite. I'm so excited for that, because there's so many different options that you could pick for that area of competition, and it's hard, but then I don't know, I feel like it's just fun. It's just all about just being yourself, just feeling like yourself, and then also just engaging with the other girls and seeing what they have to offer and seeing their personality, and you're like, wow. So yeah,
I love that. I love fun fashion. So much fun.
Are there a lot of people in your division so far? Do you know?
So it's me versus 10 other girls.
Oh.
So usually not a lot of people in the teen division in Australia. It's usually a very unpopular division, but I feel like a lot of the past winners have really, reached out to a wider audience. So it's gotten more people interested. So I feel like it's really good that I'm able to meet all these amazing girls now.
That's so much fun. And I know Australia is pretty big, but do you guys have opportunities to like meet up with each other, or how close or in proximity are these people? Because I know some places you need to like take flights to get to. So.
Oh, so this one, there's a few people from Sydney because I'm from Sydney, but everyone's like all over the place. Some people that are all the way on the other side of Australia, so it's really hard for us to communicate. But we all have our little group chats where we can just talk and help each other when we need help, like giving each other tips or dress opinions and all that. So it's really good that we have that.
Great. That's awesome.
So when you're not a student model, UN student, prepping for your pageant, what does Dakota like to do? Who is Dakota outside of the crown and the classroom?
Well, with me, like, I'm always changing. I always find new things to do. Like, these school holidays that I've been on, I've literally found my love for reading again. So I've been like reading non-stop over and over again. I've been spending so much money on books. It's really bad. And I've been so broke because of it. But I feel like I always find new things to do. Like, even like starting with the gym, like I've been doing that again. I used to be someone that was so unfit. I'd always like complain when someone would try to make me work out or like do PE in school. But I feel like now it's something that I've like really enjoyed because I'm taking care of my body and making myself more healthy. And yeah, I don't know, I'm always like up to new things all the time. Like if someone gives me an idea, I'll take it, I'll just do it because like why not? But yeah.
That's awesome.
For sure.
What are you reading?
Right now I'm reading Twisted Hate. I want
to read that so bad. Like I was literally just looking at that today. Oh my gosh. You gotta tell me how you feel about it after.
Yeah, I'm enjoying.
That's awesome. I guess we can go through some more social media questions because we have quite a few to get to. I think this is Jason, probably Jason that's also in the chat here. He asks, what is your main end goal? So I guess with the whole pageant journey, why are you in it and what's the end goal with it?
My end goal is making my younger self proud because she was so afraid, but she was like, you know what, she wanted to do it. Like when I was younger, like 10 or 8, we had to write what we wanted to be in the future and all that. And mine on there was like to become Miss Universe. So now that I'm actually here, like taking that step to actually go for it and try now, I would not even like know like how to explain how happy and excited she would be. So even if like I said before, even if I lose, I'm really happy that I actually put myself out there and actually just tried and to go for my dream. And even if I felt there are so many opportunities, it just wasn't my time. So I'll just keep going and going and going, and it's just all about making her proud.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really
good.
So
is Miss Universe the end goal for you?
I love that. This show's dangerous manifestation, so be careful.
It's true. We've said not just us, but a lot of our guests have come on here and been like, "Okay, I'll see you with my international crown." We're like, "Okay," and then the next week they're back.
Yeah, it's good. That's really good.
We're all about mindset, like Elizabeth said at the beginning. Like we're all about mindset, and the work, like you said earlier, the work that you put into it, you'll gain back at the end with your result. And I know there are a lot of questions on social media, but just so that you know, like your work doesn't go unnoticed. I mean, I follow you on social media, you follow us on social media, and being able to see what you do within your community is very inspiring. I mean, you wouldn't have all these people tuned in if they weren't inspired by you either. And it's very refreshing too to see the next, like the younger generation being like the teen division and the younger divisions, seeing the impact that you make in not just the pageant world but within your communities as well, right? Like and the world is a crazy place right now, so
it stretches past pageantry at some point where it's like you're learning to like do community service work and do it for fun, not just for a school credit or something, you know, and it becomes more ingrained in your everyday life, which is going to help everyone in the future. So I think that's really great. I guess if you were to talk to other people your age who are a little more hesitant on pageants, because I know in Australia, I think you were saying it's similar to Canadian, like the Canadian pageant industry, where it's kind of small. What would you say to people who are interested in starting pageantry, but don't really know where to start or are a little nervous to get into it?
I would tell them to think about what they want to bring to the table and what they want to represent and what their message is. That's like the main thing. If they have a story or a message that they want to tell to change other people's lives, or they want people to speak up about it because it goes unnoticed, I feel like it's really good, because they don't realize that pageantry is so much more than just, you know, fancy wardrobes and all that. You can like tell your story, you can help people, you can, it's because I feel like even with like when I started my pageant and I saw that there was like appearance option where you can get bonus points for that, I feel like it's really good because you're able to give back to your community and you're able to go out there and give help to people that need that help, or to, you know, raise money to even help people that are struggling that can't even afford to do so. And I feel like that's like the main part of pageants that go really unnoticed, because when I told my friends about it for the first time, they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do pageants, I want to do this, looks so fun. But I was like, it's so much more than that. It's about, you know, dedicating your time to become a better version of you, but also finding something that you want to represent and a message that you want to tell to help people. And if that message really aligns with your pageant. So that's something that I would tell them to think about. What do you want to tell? What do you want to see, like, that's a change in your community, in the world rather? So I feel like they just really need to think about that.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good point.
For sure. I have a question for you. I've been staring at your background every time it's just on you. Not creepy at all. But can you tell us, because I'm sure the viewers have seen it too, so that background behind you, is that like a vision board? Is it your pageant board?
So, okay, I'll show you, like, I don't know how to show you guys, but basically it's like, you know, pageantry, making my parents proud, having a good mindset, some quotes, growing closer to my faith, helping people, which is like something that's really important to me. And then mainly like, and then the Galaxy, you know, the iconic photo shoot. I love that.
Floor shot.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, it's just a lot about like my dream that I want to accomplish this year. So, you know, winning the crown, becoming a better person, having a better mindset, helping people, and just, I don't know, becoming more healthy. So I feel like that's something that I really, really want to accomplish. And I feel like I've already accomplished it already, just like the start of the year. And I feel like it's really good to like just wake up in the morning and just look and just like, that's it. That's what you're going to do this year. You need to do this. And I'll think about my little steps that I'm going to take to achieve that.
I love that. I am a big vision board person. And this is, like I said, the first episode of 2024. So I think it's actually timely that you did show us I would show you my vision board, but it's on my phone and I can't use my phone as my camera. But I love that. I actually do love that. And I always encourage, because I'm also a pageant coach. So I always, like, my first session with my girls, or the people that I work with, is to create a vision board for what you want. Like, I'm all about goal setting and mindset changing. And a vision board is step one, I find, because you really get to reflect and think about maybe not just for this year, but for this pageant journey that you're on this year too, right?
Yeah. And like getting down to like the real reason, like, why do you want this? Why do you want to win? That's the number one thing they're going to want to know in their interview, like why you want to represent the title. And I think if you like visualize it and really actually think about it, your answer is going to be supernatural and honest. And I think that's always the best move. So that's great. We've been kind of talking a little bit about like all the mindset, journey preparation. On a more like, I don't know, nervous note, what are you most nervous about coming into the competition? Because obviously we're all pageant girls. We've been in it for a long time, Regina and I, and there's still things that we're nervous about no matter how long you do it. So what are some things that maybe you're a little bit more anxious going into the competition?
I think I'm more anxious about like things not going the way I want it to. So obviously failing is something I'm really nervous about, but I feel like that's something that applies to everyone. But I'm also nervous about won't be able to present myself that I've always wanted to present myself. Like if I trip or if I say the wrong things or if I don't, like, I get worried that I'm going to fail by, like, if I fall or if there's a wardrobe malfunction. I feel like there's so many things that I'm always upset about because I feel like so many things could go wrong. So many people are gonna like hate on you if you do like something wrong. And I feel like that's something that I'm very, very nervous about. But I also like try and turn that around and think about practicing that and really, really taking my time and dedication to make sure like that's all fixed and solved. So there's no stress. I want to go into the competition with no worries. I want to go in there without nervous, just confidence and just being happy that I'm finally here and I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's that.
Remember, we manifest on the show, so she ain't falling, she ain't tripping, no malfunction, none of that.
True. And sometimes people do shy away from the things that they're more nervous about in the competition. When, if you know, put your mindset into more practicing that skill. If you're worried about falling, walk in your heels every day, like, you know, things like that. So I think that's great. I think you're coming at it at a really good avenue. So that's really good. Let me see if there's any other questions. There's a lot of questions, but I think some of them we've already asked as well. So let me see.
I was gonna say we have time for maybe one last question.
One last question.
Media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good question. How do you feel about this new journey you're on, and how do you feel like it will play a role in your future later on in life?
So I'm really happy that I'm doing this journey because I feel like it's already a start for my future, my dreams. And I feel like with pageantry and also my dream of being also in the United Nations, it's also able to, you know, solve issues, to speak about global issues and to recognize that. And I feel like a lot of like times in my life, there's so many things that I'm worried about that I see people going through. And something that's close to my heart is like younger children that are unable to live a happy and proper life. So I feel like I have this opportunity to, you know, to help them, to help their stories be told, and to people to recognize what they're going through and to make a change in their lives. So I feel like me starting this now and, you know, doing this and starting my movement already, which has been really successful already. And I just know that in the future already it's going to be really good. It's a good head start for me. And I'm going to look back and just see like how much growth I've made and how many times I've helped not only myself with my growth, but the future of other people and helping them to express themselves and express their stories. And I'm just very happy and I'm very proud with myself that I'm finally here. I put myself out here and I have this mindset. So I know that I'm going to go in this future with so many accomplishments, whether that be with or without the crown.
I love that. You're so young. And
it's
the fact that you
wrap it.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm telling you now, once you read all these comments in the chats, everyone is also very proud of you.
Yep.
As much as you are proud of yourself. And I mean, I just met you and girl, I'm rooting for you. I'm sorry, Australia. I'm rooting for you.
Sorry, girls.
Like, you are just such, like, there's, you know, when you read someone's vibe and you feel it, like you talked about aura, and I am big on reading someone's aura and just like the vibe that you give us. And I can't speak for Liz, but I can speak for myself. You have like, you have the whole package. I mean, I haven't seen you walk. I haven't seen you walk, but just the way that you present yourself, the way that you speak, and the things that you're passionate about, it's so refreshing.
I love it. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to tune in for nationals to see how you do. It's going to be so much fun. Either way, if you get the crown or not, you're going to have a great time.
We're cheering for you. But before we wrap things up, because I know I said that was our last question and you left it on such a high, if people are interested in learning more about you, learning about your platform, where can people follow you online?
So for my platform, it's B and C The Difference on Instagram. So currently I'm only on Instagram, but I'm planning to grow it even bigger soon. And my Instagram is just Dakota Cunningham, but without the M. So yeah, that's
it keeps you different. I know when I typed it, I'm like, am I missing a letter? Love that. And so Dakota, for I guess your last words for our viewers. I know there are a bunch of people here in the chats who are sending you lots of love. We saw it through our social media. What would you say to them?
I would say that I'm really, really happy that I have all you guys and that I have this amazing support system, because without you guys, I would just be by myself and I would just constantly have all these negative thoughts. Like, there were times where I was wanted to pull out of the competition, but they told me to stay, and I have so much to offer. Why are you throwing away this dream that you've had for so long? And I feel like all of them have really uplifted me, and I'm really, really, really grateful for all of them. And I know this is something that everyone says, but I wouldn't be here without them. But I just really wouldn't be. And I'm so happy that, I have amazing people like this in my life who are supporting me, who want the best for me. And I'm just really, really, really grateful.
Oh, well, we love that. They love you. We love you. So thank you so much for waking up earlier than you normally do to spend your Thursday morning with us, because I know this is a conversation that we've gone back and forth with. There's a time difference, and I'm so glad that we were able to make it happen. And so before we wrap things up, Elizabeth, weird transition, sorry. Elizabeth, where can people follow you online?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at Elizabeth Murdoch Pageant Treats, where I keep all my pageant things combined. And also I run Canadian National Miss, a national level pageant here in Canada. Sorry, Australians. But you follow us. We're going to be going on our royalty cruise in a couple weeks. So you're going to see all that fun stuff going on with there. How about you, Regine? Where can they find you?
You all can find me on this YouTube channel for the Pageant Sit Down, where we do go live whenever we're free. So make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up if you haven't, because there's a lot of knowledge coming from Dakota. So if you really enjoyed our conversation, give it a thumbs up. You can also follow the Pageant Sit Down. We are on Instagram and Facebook at Pageant Sit Down, all one word. And if you want to follow me, you are more than welcome to. I am on Instagram and TikTok at It's Regina Elena as well. I do pageant coaching, as mentioned earlier. You can find me at pageantcoaching.regineelena on Instagram. My availability is all there. Thanks, Liz. So once again, Dakota, thank you so much for spending your Thursday morning with us. To all of you in the chats, Karam, Vanessa, Lana, Jason, thank you. You're all probably from Australia. Thank you. Good morning Thank you for joining us this early morning. And yeah, Lana, we are rooting for you. If the time comes, you have your new national crown, we would love to have you back on. If you'd like to come on before nationals, we can catch up and see how you're doing. We'd love to have you back on. But yeah, best of luck to you and all of your preparation from now until May.
Yeah.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Once again, everyone, thank you for joining us. Happy New Year. This is our first episode back in 2024. And this is not the last. So we will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.